Hi guys, this is an intro to the next video, titled Friends versus Acquaintances and Racism. Anyway, I had done an original video on this person. This has been months, not months, but a few weeks back, and I'm just now getting it posted. Anyway, part one of that video was about a person that I thought was my friend, and it turned out that, she'd gotten a bunch of friend requests from a bunch of, she said, ethnic men on Facebook, and she attributed those requests to me. I think one or two may have been on my Facebook friend list, which I know personally. Anyway, excuse me. Anyway, she went on to delete me on Facebook. She made a big stink about it. She got a lot of other women in my group, or in our group, worked up over it. Some of those other people also deleted me on Facebook, won't talk to me, won't have anything to do with me. And the more I thought about it, of course, the angrier I got, because she would not tell me who the men were. She wouldn't tell me their names. And she got everyone worked up. So basically, in one fell swoop, I pretty much lost pretty much all of my friends, because she got everyone worked up into a frenzy over some friend requests on Facebook from ethnic men and, non-white men. And and in the first video, I don't know what happened to that video. I looked everywhere on my phone for that video. Just everywhere. I searched and searched and searched. I searched through many different folders of where I keep videos, and I have no clue what happened to the video. I don't know if I must have accidentally deleted it. Because my phone has gotten full a few times, and I've had to delete stuff. So I don't know what happened to the video. What I do know, though, is I'm doing an intro to this video, because I do go over it a little bit in this second video about what went on. But just to summarize, that's basically what it was about. And I got very worked up in the first video. Excuse me. I got very worked up in the first video that I did, and I got very, very angry, because I felt like, after I thought about it and from some of the stuff she said, I realized that the whole reason for doing it was not because, she tried to pretend it was coming from a safety standpoint. She was trying to pretend, that, oh God, some of these men, she was scared, because, she was getting all these friend requests, attributed them to me, and then tried to pretend like she was all scared, like these men were going to travel from whatever countries they were in, to her house to rape and murder her. I mean, that's how she came off. That's what, oh, I was just very concerning, she said. I mean, she just, and the things she said, and then followed that with, some of the other people that won't have, they won't have anything to do with me now. And I can only attribute this to her racism. And I mean, I hate to, that's a very strong word, but I believe that just by the tone she took with me and the things that she said to me, she did it. She's, I wholeheartedly believe that that she's racist. And I know a lot of people, my ex-husband included, disagreed with me. He disagreed with me and said he thought I was throwing my friendships away. I didn't throw anything away. These people, her and the other women, they opted to have no more to do with me because of some friend request on Facebook, attributed to non-white men. And I'm sorry, I don't want to come off as, I don't want to come off as negative or anything like that. But I mean, she said it, and, it's that simple. She said it. She didn't like the fact that she got friend requests from men that were not white and were possibly from other countries. And a couple of the men, I finally did track down a couple of the men that did send her a friend request. And yes, one was a black man from Atlanta, Georgia, and the other one was a Chinese man that lives in Ohio. Neither one of these men live out of the country. They're both men, they're both American citizens, or at least they live in the United States. And even if they didn't, that's not an excuse. And, I'm still angry about that. it's probably just as well that I did lose the first video, because I was very angry. I was so mad. I was so mad. I was cursing. I was just hammering on everything. I was hammering on politics. I was hammering on religion. I was hammering on everything. And it's probably just as well that I did lose that video, because I did that video. I was very angry, and I had been thinking about it for a couple of weeks, and I just was getting angrier and angrier, and I finally did the video, and that kind of got it out. And then I went on and I did part 2. I wasn't quite as angry, and I did that video. And I did go over that. But in essence, the whole crust, or whatever you want, cusp of the whatever you want to call it, the whole situation revolved around one woman that I thought was a friend that got friend requests from ethnic non-white men. She did not like it. She attributed it to me. She got herself worked up into a frenzy. She got all the women in my group worked up into a frenzy. And now most of the women that are in my group, none of them really, most of them, some of them deleted me on Facebook. Most of them, they're not communicating with me. They're not talking to me. You know, and it's in my opinion, she's racist. And the other side of the coin is that she's a drama queen. You know, that's the other side of it. She not only got herself and everyone else worked up, she started a lot of drama over it, which resulted in several people deleting me, and most won't even talk to me now. And as I said, my ex-husband disagrees. He says, "Oh, you're throwing your friends away." No, I'm not throwing anyone away. And I am not, and someone who is a racist, and I will say this again, I will say this again. I do not respect people that are racist. I have no use for people that are racist, and I don't want anything to do with people that are racist. It's just not good. It's not smart. It's not cool. It's not a good thing. And I really don't want anything to do with people like that. But beyond all that, even if you take out the race factor, the fact that she, you know, just even if you take that out, she created a lot of drama, and which resulted in me losing friends. I don't need people like that. And if these other women want to, you know, listen to her and follow what she says, then, you know, so be it. These people are not my friends. I don't want anything to do with people that are racist. I don't want anything to do with people that are drama queens. I have no use for drama. I don't have time for drama in my life. I've got too much going on in my life. I had too much going on before, and now I have even more. Now that I was in a major accident where a tractor trailer rear-ended me, so I don't have time for I don't have time for drama. I don't have time for their little Facebook BS. I don't have time for that. That is not, you know, that's not cool. And we're talking about we're talking about women that are in their 60s. They're older than I am. They're quite a bit old. You know, some of them, they're older than me. And we're talking about women in their 60s. That is too old to be drama queens. I mean, that kind of crap is the stuff I left behind when I was in high school. And I left high school a long time ago, and I don't want to go back to high school. If I wanted to go back to high school, I'd go, you know, get a job as a teacher so I could be in high school, you know, or something. But, I just don't have time for that. It's just, anyway, as I said, this is an intro to the next video, and I got pretty angry over it, and I got pretty worked up, and I'm still angry over it, because what she did it wasn't cool. I mean, you know, and for one, I mean, even if we hadn't been friends, I don't understand why she did it. I don't understand why she created such an uproar, you know, over some friend request. I really don't understand it. I don't know why she did it. I still don't know why. I probably never will, and I really don't care, because I don't have time to think about it. I don't have time to fool with it, and I don't have time for people like her. So, you know, that's it. That's the bottom line. I don't have time for racist people. I don't have time for drama queens. I don't have time for troublemakers. And she's all three. And my ex-husband can disagree with me, but that's just the way it is. Anyway, on to the next video, and God bless. Hi, this is the second part to the first video I did of Friends, Acquaintances, Racism. This is Friends versus Acquaintances. Anyway, in the first video I talk about, how a friend of mine, so-called friend, she's not a friend, obviously. Anyway, deleted me on Facebook over some friend requests she got from some ethnic men that most of them were not on my friend list. A couple of them were. Anyway. And she deleted me over these ethnic men requests. Anyway. So in the first video I talk about that, and I did get a little worked up. Again, I did an intro to that video, and I have to apologize once again because I did get pretty worked up over it. I was irked. I was a little bit angry because I felt she was coming from a prejudicial standpoint as opposed to just, a safety standpoint that she tried to claim it was from. And of course got a lot of other women in my group worked up over it. And a couple of them claim that they did get requests as well. I don't know. One or two tried to claim they got as many as 50. And I didn't know any of these men. And the person I'm referring to, I'll call her Blondie. She, I never would give me the men's names. So anyways, I don't want to go back into that again. But anyway, that actually brought me to the video I'm doing now. Anyway, brought me to the video I'm doing now because after all that happened and I thought about it for a while, it made me realize, friends versus acquaintances, and most of the women that are in my group and most of the women that I know, I've been, friends with them for a couple of years, or at least I thought I was friends with them. And then this last year, when the pandemic started, I realized that, I haven't talked to any of them. I haven't, nothing. I realized that, to be perfectly honest, it made me really realize that they're not friends, because I haven't even talked to them. We don't communicate on Facebook. We don't communicate through text message. We don't talk to each other on the phone now. And some of the women that I maybe, mistakenly thought I was closer to than what I really was, I realized that I'm not friends with really the good majority of the women in my group. I'm not friends with. And I realized that we're just acquaintances. And, my ex-husband and I, we have gotten into arguments, because of this. Because, that he thinks of them as my friends. And I pointed out to him that we're not really friends, we're just acquaintances. And, again, I apologize, it's nighttime. It may, we're not really friends. We don't talk to each other outside of the dance venues we go to, the music and dance venues. We don't talk outside of that. We don't, I don't really know these women that, the majority of the women. I don't know them that well. I don't, I don't go to their house. I've never been to their house. I don't have lunch with them. We don't talk on the phone. We don't really communicate. When I see them at the dance venues, yeah, we talk, and then sometimes later we'll, chat back and forth on Facebook or whatever, but, we're not really communicating. And this last year has made that, before COVID, the lines were blurred because we, you know, everyone was so busy with their life, you know, we didn't really communicate. Or if we didn't communicate, I mean, I would see them at the dance venues every week. So, you know, a lot of times we didn't really communicate in between then because, you know, they were busy with their lives and work, and I was busy with my life and work and whatever, travel and whatever I was doing. So we didn't communicate. I didn't notice how divided the lines were until COVID. And then I realized that so a lot of the people we think, or at least, you know, at least the people I thought were friends, they're not. And that's what brought me to this video. You know, people that are your friends, they communicate with you. They write you. They text you. They call you. They ask you how you're doing. Now, because of COVID, they might not come to your house anymore because of that. But, you know, friends are people that you pre-pandemic you would have, you know, went to lunch with, at least communicated on the phone, at least, you know, talked to outside of a dance venue anyway. And that's what got me to this point. And I realized just how clear the line has become. And, you know, my ex-husband, like I said, we've gotten into a few fights over this because he, you know, thinks of them as my friends or whatever. And, you know, and I try to explain to him that, you know, they're not. You know, I mean, they can call themselves friends. I mean, yeah, sure. Yeah, they call me a friend. But sure, they call me a friend. And I guess for a long time, the lines were so blurred, I call them a friend. I mean, they're good acquaintances, I suppose. But, I mean, people that you barely know, people that I don't know outside of the dance venue that I go to, I'm not sure how I would classify them, but friends, I'm not really sure that they would be classified in the friend category because I don't see them. I don't lunch with them. I don't know that much about them. I mean, you know, one or two I do, but you know, I know a little bit more about one or two. And, but for the most part, even those that I was friends with or knew pre-pandemic, you know, and had a little, you know, I'm not communicating with now. I mean, it's like they've suddenly fallen off the earth. It's like I've fallen off the earth. And yeah, you can blame the pandemic for most of that, but the pandemic is not to blame for people's attitudes or the way people behave. You know, the pandemic cannot be blamed for that. Anyway, so that's got me to where I'm at right now. And the last few weeks, I've been a little upset because I'm a little depressed. Usually it doesn't bother me because, you know, I'm out and about and I'm taking my pictures and, you know, I'm just doing my day-to-day thing, you know, and whatever. And of course, you know, I have work with, I have work, but so, you know, I'm out and about doing my day-to-day thing, you know, and I don't really think about it. And of course, and my work, which I talked a little bit about in another video, that was, like I said, you know, houses, you know, and investment. Anyways, which I'm not going to go into now because that's not what this video is about. But my day-to-day, you know, I'm, you know, doing what I'm doing. I'm, you know, now I like to blog, and, you know, so I don't get that much of that done anymore. Now I move more into the video arena, but, of, you know, personal blogging, personal video blogging, whatever you want to call it. But, you know, and sometimes I do still like to blog from time to time. Once in a while I get on Facebook. I like to watch TV. I got my day-to-day. I got work. I've got a little casino game I like to play. By the way, I don't invest money in it. It's just a little free game I like to play. It's a lot of fun. You can pay money. I don't. Once in a while I might, but a couple dollars here, a couple dollars there, but, nothing significant. Anyway, but in the last few weeks, since that whole thing happened with Blondie, I have been thinking about it and reevaluating, friends versus your acquaintances. And, well, Blondie, I don't even want Blondie as an acquaintance. I don't want Blondie and her Blondie best friend. I don't want either one of those women as, I don't even want them as acquaintances. They're not people I want to be around. And and after realizing that they were probably mostly, aside from far right wingers, aside from that, and being prejudiced and being racist, and I do believe they're racist from just the things that they said, the things that friends or, other people in the group communicated to me, that they are. And I don't want that around me. So they can just go on and live their life and live it someplace else away from me. So, and I don't care if I communicate with them at all. And I mean, and I don't really get the whole, I don't really get it. Anyways, but I know that they're Trump supporters, and to be honest, I can't really support anyone that goes that way either. A couple of the people in the group, and one man in our group, one guy in my group, one acquaintance, whatever you want to call him in the group, actually came out and said that he believed that COVID was all a hoax. Again, I have no respect for anyone who would call COVID a hoax, because people have died, people have lost their family members to this disease, and that's something else that I can get pretty worked up over, because COVID is serious. It's a serious pandemic, and we all need to do whatever we can to stay safe. And for someone to come out and tell, and say that to me, oh, it's all a hoax, blah, 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 because Trump said it was a hoax, and I support, I don't support Trump, but this particular friend, Ed, says, oh, yeah, oh, it's all a hoax, You know what? Because Trump says it is? No. I lost any respect I had for that man. I lost the minute he walked up to me and said COVID is all a hoax, because so many people have lost their lives to it. So many people have lost their family members. Children have lost their parents. And that is just, I have zero respect. I had to, I just couldn't, right then and there, I told my ex-husband, I do not want anything to do. I really don't want anything more to do with him, because and anyone else in the group who feels that way, because it is a serious, it's a serious thing. It's a serious matter. And I have no respect for people that, that have that kind of viewpoint or belief. And I know that, everyone has a right to feel, whatever way they want, but I just, I can't, I don't support it. So I don't really want him as a friend. And he supposedly, I guess he's always, well, he's one of the dance guys. He's like the showmeister dancer, that he's a good dancer. No doubt about it. He is a great dancer, but every woman in the, in the bar wants to dance with him, which, he's a good dancer, and a lot of women come by themselves, so yeah, I get that. But anyway, he's also supposedly, I guess, a pretty good friend of Blondie or whatever. But I don't want anything more to do with Blondie or her, and her I just don't want anything more to do with her. Not just the fact that I feel, and from what others have said, that she's a racist. That's not the only reason I don't want anything to do with her. That's number one. That's way up at the top of the list. But even if she wasn't racist and she had done what she did, I still wouldn't want anything to do with her, because someone who writes you and says, I'm going to delete you because I'm getting friend requests from people that I don't know, and a couple of them are on your friend list, and the rest of them are probably people that know people on your friend list, then that's BS. And I don't want anything to do with people like that. And that's what, I've been thinking about this video thinking about this for the last few weeks. And as I said in the last video, it irks me, it bothers me. And I think maybe, I was pretty angry to begin with. Matter of fact, I was really angry. And matter of fact, my ex-husband and I, we did speak one day, and we got into pretty much a major fight about this very thing, because he wants to think of them as friends. And I finally told him, I said, you know what, if you want to think of those, those witches as your friends, then you be my guest. Think of them as friends. Be their friend. Do whatever. I don't care. But you know what? I'm not, that's, they're not my friends. And which brings me to the second part. One of my friends, if you want to call her that, I don't know what you'd really call her, a friend, acquaintance, I'm not really sure what I call her. She's mostly an acquaintance, I guess. I don't know. But anyways, so, I put out a post, or my ex-husband, rather, he puts out, he's been going through some things, a lot, and he's a little depressed, and he gets depressed pretty regularly. And he had put a post out on Facebook about, how, how he was feeling, that no one really had, some of the people that were his friends, or he thought were friends, were not communicating. They weren't really talking to him, and he didn't understand why and what was going on. But anyway, and he's feeling a little, he's feeling down, whatever. And one of the things that she said, and I'm not saying it isn't true, but she messages him on Facebook, and she tells him that, she tells him, if you love yourself, just love yourself. If you love yourself, it doesn't matter if anyone else cares about you. It doesn't matter if anyone else communicates with you. Okay. Now, you know what? And I apologize, my hand is up in front of the camera again, and it kind of wasn't there. Anyway, off, whatever. And this, I'm not really sure what to make of that, because yes, if you love yourself, sure, if you love yourself, and, sure, if you love yourself, then it really doesn't matter if anyone else loves you or not. And they all say, every guru I've read about online says the same thing. If you love yourself, that people will naturally aggregate towards you. And I'm sure maybe this is true. Who knows? I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But, I guess, I thought about it, and I went, well, now wait a minute. Now first she says, my ex-husband's phone is kind of messed up. So, my ex-husband's phone is pretty messed up. So, he's had a problem with his phone, and he's not really, his phone finally took a crap, and he hadn't got him another one. So, yeah, okay. They can't call him because, of his phone. But they weren't calling him when his phone wasn't crapped out. So, what's the excuse there? And I'm sure some of them know where he lives, or at least they should know where he lives. If they didn't know where he lived. They didn't ask where he lived, so they don't come by. Number two, she's so busy with her work. Oh, she's really, really busy with work and her grandbaby, so she has no time for anything else. Okay, I get it. I get it. She's busy with, she does have a job, she has to work. Okay. She's busy with grandbaby because taking care of her grandchild while the grandbaby's parents work. Okay. I get it. But, so these are her excuses. I mean, if you love yourself, it won't matter if anyone else loves you or not, or even communicates with you. That's the first excuse. And then, number two excuse is, I'm so busy with work and my grandbaby, I don't have time for anything else. The funny thing is that if you look at her Facebook friend list, she's had plenty of time for all of the other gals on her friend list. So what's her excuse? So, I mean, she has no time to ever communicate with my ex-husband or communicate with me, and I thought about it and I went, wait a second, she doesn't communicate with me either. And once in a blue moon, I think I've communicated with her twice in the last year. So she says, and I'm thinking, what's the excuse? I mean, I have a phone, my phone's not crapped out, yet she doesn't ever message me, and she's never called. We just, maybe a little bit of Facebook messaging back and forth. And that's where I came in, and I went, that's where I got to, and I went, wait, none of the people that they're not even really good acquaintances. And I realized that she probably didn't like the post that he put out, because he got a little worked up, and put a post out, and he's right. And this is exactly what I told him. I said, listen, if you want to call them friends, then call them friends. I mean, if you want to call the barista at Starbucks a friend that serves you your coffee every morning, great, call her a friend. That doesn't mean she is. And I get, he put that out, he got a little bit worked up talking about, and it's true. I mean, you can call the barista at Starbucks your friend. She's not. You can call the attendant behind at Speedway where you get your pop every day, or whatever, a friend. She's not your friend either. I can call the person I see at the Dollar Tree every day a friend. She's not a friend either. I mean, these are just people that I see because I go in these places and I see them. And it's the same for my ex-husband. If he goes to Starbucks, sure, he sees, the barista that gives him his coffee. Sure, he sees the lady where he gets his pop at Speedway, sure. Same for me. But, those people are not friends. And in my case, it is the people that, we go to the dance venues. We go to the same, we listen to the same bands. We listen to, we go to the same, the bars, bars and taverns and such where the bands are playing. And those are not, and sure, we'll talk, sure. We're talk, sure. If I see them, I might chit chat with them for a little bit. They chit-chat with me for a little bit. We smile, we laugh, we have fun. It's the band, everybody's having a few drinks. Sure, we're all having fun. But you know what? As soon as we walk out of that bar and we head to our cars and we go home, or wherever it is we go, that's it. They're not... we don't see each other. We might communicate a little bit on Facebook, but we don't really communicate or talk to each other. We certainly don't talk to each other on the phone, and we don't communicate or see, and we don't see each other until the next time one of our favorite bands plays. Then we see each other again, and that's the way it is. And that's great. That's great, I guess, for communion, if you will. I mean, that's why a lot of people go to church. They want to have communion with other people. And sure, they go to church, they talk to people, they don't shake hands now, but back in the day when they could, before COVID, they'd shake hands, they'd talk a little bit, they have some communion, and then they go home. But just because they shook the hand of the man in the pew in front of them did not make that man a friend. And it's the same in my group. It's the same now. We're, sure, my ex-husband and I, my ex-boyfriend and I, we before the pandemic, we were going to our favorite taverns or bars to listen to our favorite bands, and we would see all the people that are in what we call our dance group. They're just a part of a group, and we're all kind of part of a group, but we're not connected. I mean, we're connected in the fact that we all go to the same place, but we're not connected as friends. We're not really connected as, I guess you'd call us acquaintances, but that's about it. I mean, and they're not friends. If something happens and I break down on the side of the road, I can't call any of the people that is in our group to come and help me. I'm on my own. I mean, and then that brings me to something else. I've been on the road a long, I haven't been on the road, but I've been traveling a long time. And that's one of the things that really, I guess it helped me. It really helped me, because I found out, and I realized the first year I ever went out and traveled and slept in my car. At the time I had a brand new car, so I didn't worry too much about breaking down, didn't even worry about accidents. That's a whole other story that I'll get to later. But anyway, it helped me in the fact that I realized that it was only me, and I was the only one I had to rely on, and I had to, figure it out on my own. There was no one for me to call. I did not have, oh man, someone's got the really bright, oh man, coming out of Burger King. Man, darn, he had some bright lights. Anyway, that really made me realize, that, that I had to rely on myself. And I don't really have any family really that I can rely on either. I mean, there's a couple people in my family, but I mean, I do have family members, but I can't rely on any of them either. So I can't rely on my family. I can't rely on my friends. So I know that whatever happens out here on the road or at home, it doesn't matter. I am on my own. My car breaks down, I'm on my own. I got to figure it out the best way I can, which I will address a little more in another video when it comes to breaking down on the side. And I do want to address that as well. Breaking down on the side of the road, getting a motel, what you're going to do, the whole AAA crap. I did another video on that. I haven't uploaded that one yet. So that's anyway. So, I'll get around to addressing that too a little bit later. But anyway, it's all on me. And I have to figure it out myself. I have to figure things out the best way that I can. If I get into a real mess or a real pickle, then I just got to figure it out the best way I can. I can't call any of these people that are I don't know, so-called friends, acquaintances. Heck, I can't even call people that I consider my friends. I really can't. I mean, either they're too busy with their own families, or they can't, or they won't, and my family definitely won't. And, so it's all about me out here, and I know that sounds like a really selfish way to look at things, but, but when you're out on the road, it really is all about you. And, and you got to look out for yourself. You got to think about yourself, and you kind of need to have a plan, especially if you're in your car. If you're living in your car, sleeping in your car, traveling in your car, just on a long road trip, whatever the case may be. Maybe you're on a short road trip. Doesn't matter. You have to have something in place, and you have to have some kind of contingency in place to how you're going to handle things. If, family can't help you, friends can't help you, no one's going to help you if no one can help you. You have to have something in place. And that is something that I am going to talk a little more about in another video. But this one's, I've already talked a lot about the friends versus acquaintances, and that's at 30 minutes. Anyway, and I don't like to talk much more than a half an hour. I have before, but I don't really like to. Anyways, so, I hate that. Anyways, I'm going to wrap this up. Anyway, the whole friends versus acquaintances, just to wrap up, the people in my case, I see them in the taverns and bars, but people you see out and about, your acquaintances, those are not your friends. They're people that you see, they're people you see and whatever. But they're not your friends. They're not people you can rely on. People that are your friends are people that you can rely on, can really rely on. They're like a family member. They're like a sister. They're like a brother. You can pick up the phone and say, hey, I'm in dire straits. I'm in a bad situation. I need help. Can you help me? And they will help you. But your friends are people that you talk to. You talk to on the phone. You communicate with. You text. Hopefully regularly. Friends are, your friends are not hopefully people that you only communicate with through Facebook or text message once or twice a year. I mean, I don't understand that. I mean, people call people their friends, and they only communicate with them like once a year. I mean, one text message a year, or one phone call a year, or one Facebook message a year, or, one tweet a year. Or 2 tweets a year. I mean, a couple tweets a year. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I don't understand this person's my friend and I get a couple tweets from, we communicate via Twitter a couple times a year, or Facebook or whatever. I don't understand that. I really don't. I mean, I thought friendship was something much deeper, and I don't know. Maybe I'm just an idiot. But anyway, but my definition of friendship is someone that will bend over backwards and will do whatever they can to help you if it's within their ability to help you. If they themselves can't help you, they will try to locate someone who can help you. They will do whatever they can. And they certainly, a few months back I had a problem with my car breaking down on the side of the road. Your friends, I would hope, especially your girlfriends, hopefully would not think it was okay and leave you, if you call up and said, hey, I'm stranded on the side of the road, they wouldn't say, oh, sticking your thumb out, that's okay. It happened a few years ago. My family didn't care if I stuck my thumb out or not. So you know what? Of course, I don't, anyway, and my family's a whole other story. So, I mean, that's a whole other rant and a whole other story for another day, another video. But, and sometimes your friends are better family than your actual family. And sometimes your family are good friends. I don't know. I know that since this whole thing with Blondie, I've had to really reevaluate. And right now, I'm sitting back and reevaluating that all these people, they're just my acquaintance. They're just acquaintances. And most of the people that I thought were friends, well, I haven't heard from them or talked to them in I don't know, close to a year. So, I mean, are they friends? I don't know. Anyway, so it's getting late. Let's see. ooh, it's almost 9 o'clock, and I just got through eating a few peanut butter crackers, ate a little snack, a little Coke. I shouldn't probably, some caffeine. I probably shouldn't have done that because now I might be awake. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap this video up, and I'll wrap this one up. The last video I did a little intro to it, so anyway, this one I'm not gonna do any intros to it. I'm just gonna let it go. Anyway, oh, and by the way, this video is with an S20, the S20 Ultra app. The last, anyway, I also did an intro on my last video, which was with the Bloom app, and then I did my regular camera app. I didn't like it as well, but anyway, this I think is a little better, the S20 Ultra. So, and it didn't cut me off, so that's great. Anyway, it's, like I said, almost 9 o'clock. It's time for me to go to my stop. You know, I need to eat. I need to eat something else. I'm not that hungry because I eat my crackers, so I probably shouldn't have done that. Drink some pop. I probably shouldn't have done that either. But anyway, it's time for me to wrap up. It's time for me to wrap up. Everybody's leaving the parking lot. Dollar Tree's getting about ready to close. That's where I'm at right now. A Dollar Tree and something called a food outlet. I'm still in Georgia, waiting to get my car worked on. You know, waiting to get my car looked at, get some maintenance done, and make sure there's nothing else more serious. Anyway, so I'm gonna wrap up now. This was Friends versus Acquaintances, and I kind of ended up off on a little bit of a tangent or a little bit of a rant again. But anyway, to wrap up, friends are people you can rely on. Acquaintances are people that you probably can't. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up, and I'm going to say good night. God bless. Hope everyone has a good week.